harbor sadness I can't shake. Avoiding what's burning, walking the safer path. And the wheels, they just keep on turning. Why don't we feel it embracing us? There was a time when magic opened up our eyes. We struggled jaded in the cold every day. Why is it so hard to let love unfold and stay? Humming the same song, never writing the words. And our wheels, they keep on turning. Why don't we feel it embracing us? There was a time when magic opened up our eyes. Why don't we feel it embracing us? There was a time when magic opened up our eyes. Living on the far side of town, sharing a dream with anyone. She's made it through heaven, she's made it through hell. It's just another story to tell. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen?
checking phones, this BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain. It's the heart of a villain. Hey, yo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Thursday night edition of The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the bearded villains worldwide brotherhood. Yes, I'm jacked up, and I haven't even had a whole lot of caffeine or any of the other good stuff that you could have in the world today. I'm just excited to be here tonight. It's been a few weeks since I've been off here, and it's, it sometimes I feel like in the last year, we've had a few more breaks here, right? The Heart of a Villain has been a staple for me as a Friday night or a Thursday night thing for 4 years now. And I always hear people, people in the podcast industry, the big industry that it is, but people that have podcasts and have had podcasts for a long time, sometimes you hear about them talking about, hey, there's burnout, there's this. And I've heard of other people that have had podcasts and that, only last, we've talked about this, what the average number of episodes most podcasts last for and all the struggles, that different podcasts have. But a lot of those that have major struggles, or at least that acknowledge struggles that they come from a place of numbers. They need the numbers. They need the statistics. And they need the revenue. They need all this stuff, right? And that's never been what this show is about. We never care if we have one person listening. If I'm doing it for myself, I don't care, because it's fun for me, and it's really fun for me to talk about what our brothers out there are doing. And we're going to continue to do that again tonight. But I'm excited because the first time back in a few weeks, and it feels a little bit weird because there have been a few more breaks in the last year than I'm used to, weeks, a week or two at a time. And part of that, I will acknowledge, part of that comes from same old, who's really, what's the topic going to be? And sometimes when we don't have events coming up and we don't have really some things going on in our brothers' lives, it feels like I'm, pulling fingernails out to try and come up with some information. But we're trying to track things out a few weeks ahead of time now, so it's not going to hopefully be the case, because I know, I always say people don't want to listen to me drone on all by myself for an hour or a half hour, whatever it ends up being for an episode. But I want to be able to bring good stuff to you guys, everybody that's listening, you guys, gals, ladies, gentlemen, whatever it is, and talk about the really cool things that our brothers out there are doing, because there is a lot of good. There is a lot of good out there. And I don't want to get into different things that are happening in the BV land right now, because to me, it's wasted energy. I don't think it's good to air dirty laundry out in the world when we're here to talk about the really cool stuff that Bearded Villains is doing. And when I say that, I mean the club itself and the chapters themselves. We say all the time that the Bearded Villains and the Bearded Villains today is the way it is today because of all the chapters and the work that they put in. And I firmly believe that the groundscape, the landscape of Bearded Villains today would not be what it is today were it not for all of the hard work and charity efforts and the selflessness of all of the brothers that are out there in the individual chapters around the world. And we're going to celebrate some of those again tonight. But I don't want to get into all that stuff, because this is a happy place, right? This is a place where we come to celebrate. We come to celebrate all the good stuff that's going on. Sometimes we do. We do have tough discussions sometimes, and I welcome those. But not when the discussion turns towards something that is unnecessary out there in the world. I want to have the conversations that will help improve the chapter, that help improve the club. I want to hear those hard topic conversations where we can delve into bettering ourselves as people, as men, as parents, all that good stuff. I want that, but not the negativity. So that will never be a place here. You know that you'll never have to come here and hear me talking about this thing is bad and who's doing this and all this ugly stuff. That's never going to be the case here. So onward and upward is what we say here, right? First of all, I do want to give a shout out to the boys down in Texas for LSV going on this weekend. I know it's always a really fun time for that event, for everybody that's in Texas and everybody that's within a drive or a short flight to get there for that. I was lucky enough to go to LSV a couple years ago. Had a blast down there. It was the first time I'd been there. Been to one of the LSV events, so have a great time. So one day I'd like to get back, but just wishing good thoughts, good luck to everybody that's taking part in LSV this weekend upcoming. Have a blast with that. I also want to say that if you are watching right now, get out there and subscribe to this channel on YouTube if you can, please. Tell everybody else to, because hey, as a channel, this channel is coming up on. We're probably, I would say, round in third base, coming down the line to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're listening to this and you're not subscribed, grab it, subscribe. You don't have to listen every episode. That's great. But just, it'll help us out, help the channel out. Tell your friends, your family, whatever else. Hey, this is the Bearded Villains podcast. You don't have to listen all the time, but hey, go out there and subscribe. It'd be great. Would love that. So I want to give a big shout out to some of our people here watching the show live that are in our comments section. Of course, as I always like to do, Buddy is here hanging out with us. Hey, Buddy, how you doing? JD is here as well. What is up? Bam Bam and ENC is hanging out with us as well. He says, evening, brothers. Hey, let me bring over to this screen here. He says, evening, brothers. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, let's see who else we got in here. Ed is hanging out with us here. Ed Daring from Northern Indiana. Good to see you here, Ed. Eric is here also. Sup, y'all? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Christian, hey. All the way from Peru. Hey, I am excited to talk about the brothers down there in Peru and coming up here in just a few minutes. Very cool stuff that they're doing down there as well. Mr. Radar is visiting us again. He's back hanging out with us on a Thursday night. Good to see you, man. I love watching his IG lives. Only if it's not because it's high energy. You know, once upon a time ago, he was super high energy on stuff, but I love the fact that he is honing his message down. Sometimes he doesn't even have a message. He's just letting us into a little part of his life. And I love that about the way that he is. So give a big shout out, love to Radar. He says, sending all love from Philly. Yeah, absolutely, buddy. Let's see. So that's what everybody in the comment section, if you're in there, give a shout out and let me know you're in there. That's what I've got right now. But hey, I'm going to tell you, the one thing I will say that has to do with, and it rolls back on some of the stuff that we hear people say a lot of times. And I laugh because it was a comment just a little while ago. Radar was live, and just a little bit ago, he was reading a comment within his IG live talking about BV being fun, and I had to jump in, and I was like, BV still is fun. I firmly believe that, and I know that there's people out there that just say that sometimes, just as just kind of an offhanded remark. But here's what I will say to that. Let me get back to that screen. Here's what I'll say to that. I think, to anybody out there who has ever said, make BV fun again, or this isn't fun anymore, or whatever else, I think you're doing it wrong. My personal opinion. If you surround yourself with good people, with good hearts, who are in it for the right reasons, and it doesn't have to, and this is the great thing about it. This thing isn't fun anymore. Then if it's not fun anymore, make it fun. Surround yourself with good people and do the good things, the things that warm your heart, the things that put your mind at ease. And if that just means you just hanging out with people, great. If that means, putting charity things together, great. But this, hey, life goes by way too fast, and it can be over in a heartbeat, and it's not worth all of the stress. It's not worth all that crap that comes in when you it just drains you. And end of the day, you just, I don't want to people, right? Too short for that. Surround yourself with good people doing good things, and it makes it fun. It's fun all the time. Those that don't contribute to that, see ya. See ya. I don't need to be around you. That's my philosophy. Words from BP, anyway. Hey, I want to give a shout out to a couple of chapters here who have given me information on merch that they have right now. I only have 2 on the books right now, and if there's another chapter out there that's doing some charity stuff, raising money for something, selling some merch for charity or something like that, if it's you and you're not telling me what it is, you're missing out, because all of the millions of people that watch this show could see it. All of the millions that watch this show could see all your merch. But seriously, I want to be able to support you guys. So send me your pictures of whatever the merch is you're doing, and I would love to be able to support you guys for your charity endeavors. So just have to give a shout out for that. Okay, so we're going to do some merch here. Just 2 chapters right now, like I said, is all I got. Just this week, our brothers up north, BV Ontario Southwest, just released this pre-sale on a patch, and it's $15. 50% of the proceeds are going to go toward Camp Bucko, and Camp Bucko is an incredible camp that is it works with children who are burn survivors in some way, shape, and form. And I've had the pleasure of going up to Beards for Bucko, which raises money for that, the event that raises money for that for the last few years. And it's a great time. It's an incredible camp. I urge you to look into Camp Bucko up there. But if you want to help out with this great thing, then reach out to, they don't have a store set up for this, but you just reach out to the Cap or Co-Cap with Bearded Villains Ontario Southwest, BVOSW. So you're looking for at 10666 or at J Scores. Hey, just I don't want to try and pronounce and mispronounce people's IG names, right? All I will say is Captain Co-Cap of BVOSW. Hit them up and they'll set you straight. $15 for an awesome patch that's on pre-sale right now. And then finally, my second one up here tonight, old buddy's going to love this. Chattanooga Villains, their 2nd year anniversary patch and t-shirt. They're selling the patch for $10, and I think the shirt for, well, standard t-shirt prices. They are available on a pre-sale only until March 1st. So this is the last week to get your hands on the 2nd anniversary patch and shirt for Chattanooga Villains. So get out there and grab that good stuff as well. That's all I've got for merch right now. Now, tonight, I am going to be sharing my interview in just a few minutes that I had earlier today with Danner, talking about, NashVegas, the big, huge, awesome event that always kicks off the spring, early spring, whatever it is, down in Nashville, Tennessee. I can't remember a spring without going to this event since I've become a villain, and it's always a great time. So a little bit of change up in the whole schematic of what NashVegas is going to be about. As far as if you've been the last couple of years, you're kind of used to we go here. Little change up this year. So don't miss my interview coming up with Danner about that. And it's just going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. But hey, I wanted to bring back a fun segment, fun for me anyway, at least just fun for me, segment where I get to talk about some of the really cool things that some of our chapters are doing. And it's a thing that I usually do with like breaking news, or it's thing that I'm right now, the working title for the time being is Villains Around the World. So we'll see, maybe we'll change it to what are villains up to? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we're gonna bring in our new segment, our new old segment, sharing some good news about some of the cool things that our villains are doing right now. Okay, so this is Villains Around the World. I hope you enjoy this segment. This is a fun time. Now, what I plan to do with this segment here on the show is I want to celebrate the cool things that the different chapters are out here doing. So if you've done an event and you're raising money for something, let me know about it. Send me a picture or two. Tell me how the event went. If you're just doing something like a walk for something, great. Send me a picture. Let me know what we're doing. I want to be able to celebrate the cool things that our brothers are out there doing to help out other charity organizations or directly with other people. Whatever it is you're doing, I want to be able to celebrate that stuff. So without further ado, let's get right into it, right? On February 10th, Bearded Villains East of England hosted an event called Beast from the East, a charity event and beard competition benefiting the Matthew Project charity, an organization that empowers young people, adults, and veterans to overcome drugs, alcohol, mental health issues so that they can live their lives more fully. It was a really great event hosted by Bearded Villains East of England. I don't have any numbers for you right now, but as you can tell by the picture, they had a great time and it was really well done for the charity. So congratulations to East of England for doing that event. Next up on the docket, the Queen City Villains. Also last weekend, the Queen City Villains got together for some park cleanup and afterwards had some mealtime with some brothers. As noted on the Instagram post on the chapters page, all had burgers except for Sudi, who had a salad. I'm not so sure if I agree with this new skinny Sudi that is all about the good food and salads. He can't even, chill for a burger. What's up with that, Sudi? Come on. I know you're skinny now, but let's go. Let's be normal. So love you, buddy. All right. Congratulations though, guys. It's good to see us out in the community doing some really cool stuff. As simple as a cleanup, right? Cleanup crew. Shout out to them east with the Queen City guys. Next up, Bearded Villains Virginia. The Bearded Villains Virginia, man. I'll tell you what, this past weekend, Bearded Villains Virginia took part in the Polar Plunge Virginia 2024. They raised $4,465 for the Special Olympics. This was all due to the support from everyone around them, and these fine gents here pictured were plunging into the 40-degree water. You can still donate to the chapter for the Special Olympics if you would like to, so just reach out to the brothers over there at Bearded Villains Virginia if you would like to donate. And then finally tonight, I told you I was going to be talking about it, Bearded Villains Peru. Last weekend, Bearded Villains Peru was present at San Martin de Porres shelter, a shelter that is responsible for providing food, breakfast, and lunch from Monday to Saturday for 150 older adults who live on the streets in downtown Lima. As a chapter, Bearded Villains Peru work one Saturday a month, sometimes 2 Saturdays a month, depending on their agenda, because they have other projects that they're also a part of. The brothers take care of buying all the supplies. They cook, they provide lunch with drink and dessert for the 150 older adults that are present, in addition to spending some time with them to have a conversation and just chill. Bearded Villains Peru will be ready soon with some new merch that you can help out by buying, and you can help out their charity causes for their other social activities that they do. The captain of BV Peru, Christian, said it's an honor to be able to represent them and achieve so many wonderful things in the name of BV. Now, if you would like to help out the Bearded Villains Peru brothers down there with their charity endeavors, here's their PayPal address, they ask. I'm telling you what, down there, it seems like the money goes a lot further than it does up here in the States. So a little bit goes a really long way, especially when they're doing everything with the money. They're not outsourcing it. So reach out to Bearded Villains Peru, see if you can help them out. Send a little bit of money their way at paypal.me/BV Peru Oficial. Thank you very much for sharing that information. And guys, hey, that's going to wrap up what I've got for the villains around the world. If you want to be a part of this, if you've got something to send me, send it to me and I'll include you in this segment. Okay. All right. So we've come to that time. Where we're going to be spending a few minutes with the one and only Tanner. We're talking NashVegas. NashVegas 8 this time around. So without further ado, I want to bring in our brother from NashVegas, the 3-star villain captain, Tanner. Bring it on. Okay, coming up in less than 2 weeks, we are just numbered days away, just a handful of numbered days away from NashVegas again. Here today to tell me a little bit about what we can expect, some changes in the lineup if you've been there before in the last couple of years. But man, I'm looking forward to this. Danner is here today to talk to us about it. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How about you, BP?
Oh, dude, I'm so excited. Like I said, off air, we were talking. This is the first. This is the first one, first big one of the year. So I'm always excited, and it's. We're not. I don't want to get into all the craziness in the BV world right now, but it's going to be fun, I think, and interesting to see see a bunch of guys finally.
Yeah, absolutely. A nice little just kind of getaway for everybody, and I'll put line chat down for a few days and stuff and make us kind of remember what this truly is about.
Yeah, and I think past precedent. I mean, NashVegas has always been one of those events where it feels like you just go and there's not. I mean, especially the last couple of years where it's been a very formalized, event at Yeehaw, and it's such a fun place where you're there for an event, but you're mixed in with the rest of the population of Nashville that's hanging out there for the day, and it's a really cool chance for people just to kind of come across a Bearded Villains event. Every year you run into those people, and it's just a really fun atmosphere. So yeah, like you said, it's a chance to just come hang out with the brothers and not have to worry about a whole bunch of other stuff. So I know I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. We can't wait to get everybody in town and everything, start really kick off this BV or in the right way and stuff. Like you said, kind of the first big multi-regional event and everything of the year, kind of kick the season off the right way. So I think we do a pretty good job of it, and we're going to do it again this year.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody really since the very first year I went down for NashVegas. I've never heard anybody, come away from there going, yeah, that was a waste of a weekend or anything. I mean, it's always a good time. It doesn't matter. It's great. Even the year, the first year that was at Yeehaw when it was freaking cold as all get out, but it was still a blast. So it's always a good time. But I know we can just kind of roll into the schedule with things a little bit. I know you put out the flyer for anybody that has seen it in line chat and whatnot, but you actually have kind of a formalized schedule of events that actually starts off on Thursday of all days.
Yeah, so we've always kind of had not a huge group, but a solid group that winds up coming into town earlier than the meet and greet on Friday. So after a few years of that, of just trying to kind of figure out what everybody's doing that comes into town early, we finally started deciding to let's just put something together, give a centralized location where everybody knows, hey, for anybody that's in town, we're just going to meet up, hang out, and just kind of have fun for a few hours. And lucky enough, our co-captain is the general manager of a bar in Nashville, the Rusty Nail. For anybody that's been to NashVegas the last couple of years, that's where our early hangout has been, and that's kind of the same thing again this year. We're going to be there starting around 7 p.m. that night. I know some guys are coming in later. Some I'm sure will be there earlier. It's just whatever. We'll kind of have a flow of guys coming and going at that, but it's a full bar. They have some food and everything, great bar food stuff, and I'll highly recommend the fried bologna bites. But we have a couple of guys that might fight you over them. Plenty of parking, easy to get in. It's not downtown or anything, so you don't have to pay for parking or worrying about trying to get down there, where you're going to park, all that. Yeah, the only thing is it is 21 and up, with it being a bar in Nashville. That's just kind of what we run into. But it's always a good time just to see everybody that gets in town early, and like I said, give them a place where they're not trying to figure out what to do or where people are going to be at.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? I have to apologize. After you said fried bologna bites, I think everything else I didn't even listen to what you said there. It strikes my fancy. I've never had fried bologna bites. Been a long time since I've even had bologna. But is it just exactly what it sounds like? It's just fried bologna bites?
It is exactly what it sounds like, and I'm telling you, there are guys that will go from the chapter that go there just to eat the fried bologna bites and see our co-captain a little bit every now and then. But
Well,
It's mainly the bologna.
I'm not going to be in town on Thursday night, but I think I may have to try and find a way during my trip down there just to go there, just like you said, just for that purpose. Maybe get some
Well,
carryout fried bologna bites or something.
yeah, I mean, I think I know a guy. I think we can make that work.
Okay, all right. I gotta try something new when I'm down there. It feels like, for sure. All right. Well, so that's Thursday night. We know it's not going to be attended by a whole bunch of people, but it's really cool that you offer that, because there are some people that are able to take like a Friday off, and if it's a short drive for them, they can make the trip over pretty quick on a Thursday. But Friday is going to be the travel day for me, so I'll be rolling into town late afternoon, early evening. So for somebody like me and everybody else that's coming in on Friday, what's the plan of attack on Friday? Now, I know you mentioned a little bit off air, things have changed a little bit of change up from the last couple of years. So let's start with that, and then where we're going to be, and what was the hang up with the change, just out of curiosity.
Yes. So the last couple of years we've been at the game terminal, which that was a great time, great place. Loved it there. It worked really well for us. They went through some new management changes and kind of went in a new direction. And they informed us after last year that we wouldn't be able to host our meet and greet there any longer, which that's fine. It was no hard feelings. Like I said, they didn't wait until a month out or something and then try and do this to us. I mean, they gave us pretty much a full year of notice on this. But with that, so we kind of took everything to the drawing board, and we decided to introduce everybody to what Nashville really is. And whenever it boils down to it, we're a honky tonk town. That's what we are. Country music, line dancing, beer. I mean, that's what Nashville is built on, and has a pretty good reputation of it. So we're not sending everybody downtown on Friday night or anything like that. We're not sending them to a tourist trap, nothing like that. We are gonna head to the Nashville Palace, which is an old school honky tonk that is right by the host hotel. If you're staying at the host hotel, you can literally walk to this place. Um, Again, it is a bar in Nashville. It's going to be 21 and up. Not much we could work with on that, but the Nashville Palace is where the likes of like Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, people like that got their start at. And there's tons of country music videos that have been shot there and all kinds of stuff. They have live music all day, every day. They have line dancing going on Friday and Saturday nights if you want to participate in line dancing. So that'll be going on. We will have a reserved area like how we have for the past couple of years with our own bar and everything. So that we know there's going to be a wait and everything. There's a bunch of us and everything. We back the bartenders up and everything, but they do a pretty good job with us. But we're going to be able to filter everybody into kind of one generalized area to get their food and drinks. They offer a full menu, burgers, ribs, salads, a little bit of everything. Great food, all that. So we'll have that going on Friday night. And like I said, it's right down there by the host hotel. Really cool vibe in that place. Kind of, like I said, old school honky tonk. I think it's going to be really cool and something that not a lot of people have experienced before in their life. Because if you've never been in a true Nashville honky tonk bar, it's a different feel. And I don't care if you don't like country music or whatever. By the time you're there and experiencing it firsthand, you're going to be having a good time in there for sure. I promise you that one. And we'll do it like how we have the last couple of years. We'll have merch set up. We'll do an early comp sign up the night before. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting and fun time for a lot of people and everything to really see what Nashville's roots are.
I think that's a really cool idea, because some of the best events that you go to are the ones that somehow incorporate what the city is, the area that that you're in, and it's something that's not easy to do at a lot of places. Really, I mean, I feel like but Nashville has such a cool history of music and just, I mean, everything that is Nashville. It's, if you're not going to, like, I mean, going to the arcade bar or something like that, it's a different thing. It's not really what Nashville's known for. So this will be interesting. I'm not big on country music, and you're not going to find me with a cowboy hat or boots, but it'll be interesting for sure. I'm all about it. What the heck? You won't see me line dancing either. Just put that out there. You won't see me out there doing that, but I'll sit and watch. I'll
All
cheer everybody else on.
all I'm saying, BP, is I just heard a few challenges get thrown out and everything for Friday night. So
Not for me. No, there's no challenge at
no,
all. I'll just sit and watch
no,
and clap. I'll clap my hands
no.
and cheer you on. Go for it.
Yeah,
Uh,
you said no cowboy hat, no cowboy boots. We'll see what happens Friday night.
okay. All right. I mean, I could probably rock a cowboy hat, but boots don't work on me. They don't make them for people my size. I don't think so. But that's okay. We'll get past that. I'll get my sneakers on. I'll be just fine. But man, I'm excited about that because, I mean, a place, especially a place like that, that's historic, that that's had so much history involved in music and everything else there. I'm sure it'd be very cool for people that, especially for people that really know country music that aren't from the area. It'll be a really cool place to be able to hang out, but also, it's one of those. It sounds like it's one of those buildings that, it's, if the walls could talk type of thing, and it would be it'll be really fun, I think, for a lot of people to be there for that. So. Good choice.
Oh yeah,
Good choice.
absolutely. And one thing with that I forgot to mention is nobody associated with us has to pay a cover fee and everything to get in there.
Wow.
So they're waiving the cover fee and all. So that makes it a little bit easier. And definitely, if the walls could talk on this place, it would have stories for years. And I could only imagine some of the things that have happened inside of those walls, but it's definitely some special things.
Yeah. I mean, places like when you have, I mean, Hall of Fame musicians that had their start, at those kind of places. It's yeah. I mean, you weren't there to see it because really, who? I mean, other than close family and friends, who would have really known to in advance that they were going to be a star? But yeah, that's really really cool. So, all right. So that takes us to Friday night. So supposing that everybody makes it to bed at a decent enough hour that they're able to get up for the flag shoot that's going to happen, that every year happens, and remind everybody where that's going to be.
Yeah, so flag shoot is still staying the same. We're doing it 12 o'clock noon. We're not doing an early one and everything like some places do. Uh, we understand Nashville, so we give everybody every chance that we can. But yeah, it'll be 12 o'clock noon on Saturday at Bicentennial Park, like how it always has been. Nothing about the flag shoots changing. We'll have the black flag present for anybody that wants to take a picture with it and all that. So yeah, 12 o'clock noon flag shoot. It'll be good.
It's one of the cooler places that, I mean, of all the places I've been for a flag shoot, you always know that you know what you're going to get with it, and it's just a very very cool place for a large group photo.
Yeah, absolutely. And with how big the area where we do it is, we don't ever, no matter if 20 people show up or 200, we know we can fit them there and make it look good. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And it seems like every year somebody, pushes the boundaries a little bit about where we're allowed to stand or climb or so let's hope that the park rangers that are there aren't there to uh, give too many of our guys a hard time, because every year inevitably we have one or two that climbs up on that wall and tries to take pictures of that, or a drone or something else comes over, and next thing you know,
yeah,
somebody's yelling at us, hey, you can't do so. That's
yeah.
always a good time.
So we'll try and slip a little money to the park rangers beforehand and everything. Get them off our
Don't
back.
say that. It's a recorded line. Shh, shh. This
Yeah.
is recorded. You don't need to don't put yourself out there like that, for sure. But yeah, no, it's a, you say it's nice and it's late in the day. Noon. There's been a couple years where noon felt like 5-6 o'clock in the morning. So, it's, I mean, you got to do it at some point. If you're going to do it, you can't make it at 9, because then people are just, for some people, going to bed. But noon is a good time. But I'm sure there'll be some people on that struggle bus when they show up there, for sure.
Yeah, usually some of those Queen City guys are usually the last ones to there and all. So
Yeah,
I'm sure
what is
that they'll
that?
hold that.
Yeah, what is that? I don't know. It's like, yeah, it's just they run on Queen City time, right? I'm not sure what that's about.
Absolutely.
We love them anyway, but you know it's going to be like, all right, I think,
Yeah,
I think,
those guys know I love them, but I know they'll be late. So
yeah, yeah. All right, okay. So we've made it to the flag shoot now. After we jettison ourselves from the flag shoot, remind everybody what's in store for Saturday night.
yeah, so Saturday night's going to be at Yeehaw Brewing Company again, like it has been. We have the inside reserved, how we have for the past couple of years. We saw absolutely no reason to change that. We love being there. They love having us, and like you were talking earlier, it's a really cool and different type of event than most of the others because it's not just us secluded off into a room. There are just as many people that aren't associated with BV there as there are people there for the competition. And it never fails. Every time we walk in, we get the weird looks and people are trying to figure out what's going on. And then within 30 minutes, they're telling everybody that they're staying for the entire night and they're there until we are. And we usually wind up clearing the place out because once we get done, usually most of the everybody else that's not associated with BV usually winds up leaving afterwards. So, but yeah, it's going to be same kind of setup, same type deal. We'll have raffle and auction and everything. We'll have the comp. We're only running 7 categories this year, so it'll be a little bit streamlined. We've knocked out some of the categories that we don't get a whole lot of participation in, just to kind of streamline that process because the comp has ran a little long the last couple of years. But we're going to do freestyle, style, mustache, partial. Then we'll do business beard, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, and then over 12. Um, and for all the over 12 guys, Robert Beaudry wanted me to inform y'all that he is not competing at this event. So you have a chance. So don't be scared to compete and everything. But yeah, it's going to be $20 like it has been. We're not raising the prices or anything like that. Only competitors have to pay. With we don't make everybody pay, being it's the type of setup that it is. But yeah, that's going to be the main comp. We've got some really cool auction items, like one-off auction items that are going to be going up. And then we'll have our standard raffle prizes, how we always do, kind of in the middle and everything, for anybody that's been there for the last few years.
Yeah, every year there's some really cool stuff that ends up on those tables there. You know, you just know going in there, bring some money because you may see something you really, really, really want. And but yeah, no, this is you know, it's always fun to come to this event. Like I said, going to Yeehaw is just super cool because you get to see people that have never seen anything regarding bearded villains. You get to see some people that have never had an interest. I mean, why would they, in a beard competition? And so they're just happen to be there on a on a Saturday night, just hanging out with their friends, and they're like, "What's going on? A beard competition? I've seen these on YouTube. I've seen these on TV, or is I And so they sit through the whole thing and they have a great time with it, and they're like, "I never." And then what was really funny, and I don't know if I told you this story. Last year, we ran into some people that were there for like I think it was like a wedding shower weekend or something, and there were 4 women that were from Indiana, and they were actually from about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from where we live here. And we got to talk, and they saw that we had Indiana on our shirts, and they were just like, what's going on? And they said, we're going to come here. I don't know if it'd be really cool to see if they come back next year, because the friend of theirs that they were there for, it wasn't just like an excursion thing. The one woman actually lives there, and she said, I think we need to plan this like a annual trip, and we'll come here every year. I said, hey, come here every Saturday night. This Saturday night every year. This is when the event is. And you can come hang out with us and enjoy the night. And so, but they said they had a great time, and it was really cool to see what the bearded and hear about what the bearded villains were about. We got to talk to them for a bit, and they talked to some of the guys from all over the country. And it was really neat to see somebody else interested in who we are and what we do. And it's just such a cool environment to allow that kind of process to happen. So I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, for anybody that listened to the podcast for Nash Vegas last year, they might remember a story that I was telling from Nash Vegas 6, where a couple of people were setting up right by the stage and wound up setting through the entire comp. And then at the end, they were like, we're coming back next year. This was so much fun. Well, they actually did come back last year to the event, and they actually reached out about a month ago and are going to attend this event as well for their third year in a row. Have absolutely nothing to do with Bearded Villains, nobody in it whatsoever. They just happen to live within a driving distance of the area. And for their third year in a row, they're heading out for our beard competition.
Okay, now who's going to be your MC? Are you going to do it, or is somebody else?
Yeah, so normally it is Miles that has been our MC for the last couple of years.
Yeah, we've heard his excuse.
But
I know he's got an excuse. Whatever, family.
Yeah. So actually, we are having a little bit of help from our brothers up in Richmond and everything, and Dapper is going to come down and gonna run the beard comp and MC for us and everything. So
listen to that. We gotta listen to that guy.
Yeah, I know, but
right. You're gonna make people really miss Miles, right?
I won't go that far and everything.
No, we can't go.
I love him though.
We can't go that far. But no, that's cool. Okay, so you got to make sure that you point out to him who these people are, where they're seated. So you got to give them a shout out. I mean, the fact that they're doing this for the third year just to come support and see what this thing is and enjoy the time. I mean, especially when they have nothing, there's no tie to Bearded Villains.
Yeah.
I think that's such a cool thing. And I think that also speaks to the outreach and kind of what the way that you've actually, made a difference, even something simple like that. It's not that you've given them anything other than it's been a fun time. And just that little bit of outreach and showing people what we're about is, it's bringing them back. So it's very cool.
Yeah, and for anybody that was there last year, they might remember in the back of the room and everything, there was a table of people that again had nothing to do with us, and that table wound up buying more items in the auction than the people in BV did, and they would buy it and then just give it to whoever they outbid or whatever it was. But they spent a ton of money for the charity and all, so that was really cool. And again, just Yeehaw is. It provides that type of interaction and everything. Will we get that every year? You never know, because you don't know who's going to be there, but it gives you those options, and that's really different than a lot of competitions that I've been to, at least, offer. So it's kind of a unique thing with how we're set up for that and stuff.
Oh, it's extremely unique, because if you think about it, I mean, our event is you have to go to know, you have to know it's happening to go to that event space, to go to it. And that's the way most of them are, really. You go to XYZ, it might be a public place, but this is, Yeehaw is so big that you're going to run into people that are just happen to be there but it's a lot more rare to see that kind of a thing at a lot of these other events you go to. And many of them are, it's at their own event space, or they've set it up for the night at their own, it's a specific event. So this is a unique one. This is always a fun one for that reason. But, I will say, for anybody's listening, little bit of, I don't know what it would be, Easter egg or just advice I learned last year. If you're thirsty at Yeehaw and it is super busy, when you go up to the bar, pretend that you are going to get pitchers for the table, and instead get 2 pitchers for yourself, and bring them back to the table. So that's what I did last year, and I didn't have to go back up to the bar again for at least for a while. So it was a good play, because a lot of guys were standing back in line 5 minutes after they had a drink, and I was like, sorry. I would have shared, but
Yeah,
they didn't like the beer I had. So
it's all about strategy. But yeah, absolutely, and everything. Think ahead, because again, with it not just being us and having a couple of hundred just regular people there, the lines do back up and everything. But those bartenders there, they kill it every single year. I mean, they're slammed from the time that we walk in till the time that we walk out, and they never complain. They always have a smile on their face and doing everything that they can for us. But definitely, if you're drinking beer and everything, get pictures for the table and just have it there. Save yourself a little bit of time and the headache of that part of it for sure.
yeah. All right, so we've made it past Saturday night. Everybody gets their hangover or gets to bed early, whatever they're going to do. And I know that you guys actually have something planned for Sunday. May not be attended by a lot of people, but I saw something on the schedule for Sunday. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so real quick, back to Saturday and everything, we are going to have an after party at Loser's Rooftop Bar. We did the same place last year and everything. Again, free cover charge and all that. Once we get done with the beard comp, we'll head over there. We had a great time and all last year. If you didn't attend after the event last year, I highly suggest. Some people that was some people's favorite part of the entire event was up there. It's a really cool and again another unique type of experience. If that rooftop bar is kind of setting, it's on Fourth Avenue, but it's right there. You can see Broadway and all that, and see some of the interactions that go on there. Again, the after party is a very fun time and stuff, but again, no cover charge and everything. You're right down the road. If you can Uber, you can walk, whatever you want to do. After the event, you're just a few blocks away from that. Um, but we'll be there probably somewhere 9 to 10, depending on when the comp ends, and you're there until they shut the doors if you want to, or until you want to leave. But yeah, then after that, we'll hopefully be able to wake up at a reasonable time Sunday, and we'll go through and have kind of a going away breakfast, lunch, brunch type deal and everything, depending on when everybody gets up and going, and have a nice little send off and stuff, and try and end the weekend on a good note, send everybody home happy.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, the one thing that I wanted to also cover that we didn't cover so far. What's all the money going to this weekend? What's your aim? What's your focus for the weekend?
Yeah, so the charity that we're raising money for is the Adult Congenital Heart Association again. That's kind of been our main charity for the last several years, have a really good working relationship with them. Anybody that's been around TSV knows Renee, and knows everything that she's been through, and she helps us so much with them. So yeah, we're going to be raising money for that. For anybody that doesn't really know what the Adult Congenital Heart Association does, it is 1 in 100 adults are born with some type of heart defect, and some of them find it out. Some find these out early on in life, but a lot of them don't find out until a lot later on in life, once they become an adult and start going for these kind of yearly checkups and all that we have to do to make sure everything's working right. And these things kind of pop up, and sometimes they can lie dormant for a while. And whenever you're 30 years old and find out that you have had a heart defect and everything, it can be a little scary. So we're going to raise money to for them, like we have the last few years, and hopefully we can give them a really big check at the end of all this.
That's good, man. That's good. It's always. I mean, the brotherhood part of it's one thing, but being able to give back is even better. And yeah, let's do it. Let's do what we can to make sure that happens for sure. Well,
Absolutely,
man, I'm excited for this. Just a handful of days away. Got to get through this weekend first, and I gotta be the studious dad and family guy this weekend so that I can go next weekend because unfortunately my wife can't make it next weekend because she's doing some stuff at a local community theater starting next weekend. So I have to miss that so that I can come down and hang with the bros. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Is there anything else you wanted to give a shout out or mention before we let you go tonight?
Uh, just as far as I know, people a lot of times are concerned about what do I need currency wise and everything for payment and all that. TSV is set up to take your money pretty much any way that you want to, minus crypto and gold. I can pretty much take your money rather easily. And if
you
you're
would
wanting to pay
probably
with
take gold if somebody offered it. You would probably take gold.
well, I was just saying, if you want to figure out how to pay with crypto or gold, I'll figure it out on our end so that we can get that money to the charity. So, but yeah, and everywhere that we're going, you have full access, cash and card, whatever, anything for the raffle, auction, anything like that. We've got Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Obviously, we can run credit cards and everything. So money. You don't have to worry about getting cash out before an event or anything like that. So all that's good. Again, just want to hit on Saturday night. There's not a ton of free parking downtown in Nashville. So plan for that. There, if you need help finding somewhere to park and everything, there's a few places right around E Hall. But if you need help, get with one of us. We can let you know kind of where the best and cheaper places are, because sometimes they get a little expensive. But Saturday night, if you want to Uber or Lyft or whatever and all, that's definitely a plus to get you downtown in that area. But everywhere else, every other night, there's free parking, all that. So you don't really have to worry about it. And there's a ton of parking everywhere else.
Good.
So you don't have to worry about getting there early and not having a spot, anything like that. We'll have a few vendors set up and everything. Hinderless 22 will be set up at the main event. And then Beards and Bees and Beauties and Bees will also be set up. Shameless plug there.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got a little connection there, but that's good. Yeah, good stuff. For
yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. We've got a little shout out to Mad Viking Beard Company. They're our main sponsor and helping us out a ton with this event. They're gonna be doing our kind of swag bags for the event and everything. And actually, the owner Jason is going to be one of our judges.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So while speaking of judges, yeah, we're gonna have him. We're gonna have Todd Preston from Chattanooga Beard Company. He's the head of branding and marketing for them. If you've been to he goes to a bunch of like the Smoky Mountain events and everything. So if you've been to events kind of in this area, you've probably seen or met Todd. He's a great person. And then our final judge is going to be David Pillow, which he's a local master barber. And he owns the Standard Grooming Lounge. And he actually is the man behind the big hairy winning machine, Robert Beaudry's beard. So he definitely knows what he's looking for. So great panel there and all.
Yeah,
but
it's a great panel.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
right.
But yeah, outside of that, I mean, that pretty much covers everything. Again, if you have any questions, obviously you can hit me or any of the guys at TSV up. If you need brought into the chat, again, hit one of us up. We'll get you in there. There will be all the pictures from the weekend will be shared in there and everything. So it'll be a good time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Can't wait. Thanks so much for taking a few minutes out with me tonight to talk about it, and we'll do everything we can to help promote it. And I look forward to seeing you in just less than 2 weeks, man. A week.
Absolutely. I can't wait for everybody to get here. It's going to be a really cool time. And for everybody, I will say we've got some pretty special trophies for this event too. So you might want to bring your A game because you're going to want to go home with one of these trophies.
I've never brought home any hardware from NashVegas. I don't see that ever changing, but it'll be fun to watch. So I'm there. All right, Dan, thanks so much, buddy. I appreciate it. And I'll see you in just over a week.
Absolutely. Everybody travel safe, and it's going to be a fun time. Look forward to seeing everybody.
All right. Take care. I'll see you soon.
All right. See you.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, such a good time, man. And that was a lot of fun getting to talk with him. I'm excited. NashVegas. It's coming up next weekend. Now, I will apologize. I didn't even I forgot to give a little precursor. Oops. To I'm not sure what was going on with the audio there. I think there was a feedback thing looping through on his end. I'm not quite sure, but it wasn't in the recording when we recorded the interview. So I don't know. When I went back to listen to it to set it up for tonight, it was there. So hopefully that didn't take away too much from being able to hear the interview too well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So one of the things that I have always done with this show is do a calendar of events so we can all know what's coming up in the BV land. But I'm altering things just slightly because, as I have said, I've really, really tried to press on all of us over the last year, but especially the last 6 months or so, just because I think it's important that we recognize the fact that yes, we are bearded villains, but we are just one of many clubs that are out there. We might be the largest, but it doesn't matter. We're all out there doing the same thing, and in many ways, we're doing the same thing for charity. So I have decided that I'm going to stop doing my own calendar of events, right? And I'm going to actually just support another brother out there in the world of the bearding community, Aaron Johnston, who has created the Beard Calendar. And it is an all-encompassing calendar of events for everything that is BV and not BV. And what's really cool is that I don't know that anybody really asked him to he just did it on his own. He's created this thing. And what's neat is he created this thing that is inclusive of bearded villains among all the other things that are out there. So I think it's important that I support his efforts here. And so I'm going to bring in our music here and see if I can pop in the beardcalendar.com. Now, if you've never heard or seen of this thing, it is it's very simple. Thebeardcalendar.com is all it is. But what's nice is it's kind of a go-to spot if you want to learn about what things are going on in the bearding community. So beardcalendar.com. So here in February coming up, they have it. It's on here. LSV7 is this weekend. If you're anywhere near, where is that? Bastrop, Texas? I've never heard of that. But hey, cool. LSV7. It's going to be awesome. There's links in here for the Facebook page for the event details, everything you need to know. So very cool. Also this weekend in Fayetteville, North Carolina, Badass Beard Contest. You've got the same weekend, if you're over in Arizona, Morristown, Arizona, Desert Beard Battle is going on this weekend. Then in March, you got a few options that first weekend. If you're in Dayton, Ohio, you can go to the Cyan Tattoo Invitational Beard Competition. That's pretty cool sounding, I think. That's on the 2nd in Dayton, Ohio. Also, down south on that same weekend in Ruston, Louisiana, is Mob Fest 007, presented by Beard Mob Louisiana. That is the 2nd of March. And then also, we've talked about it here on March 2nd, Nashville, Tennessee for NashVegas 8, presented by the 3-Star Villains. Then the weekend after that, I'm just going to go through a few of these things here. On the 9th in Birmingham, Alabama, you've got Bama's Best Beards and Mustache Competition. On the 15th, Watertown, New York. See, these are all over the place. You cannot tell me you cannot tell me that there is not something to do. You cannot tell me that there's not an event out there around the country, here in the U.S. at least. I will say that. I don't think that the Beard Calendar covers anything outside the States. I could be wrong, but I've never seen it. But aside from that, if you live here in the States and you're complaining, you're saying there's just nothing for me to do charity-wise, there's nothing for me to go to. This is an example right here, the Beard Calendar. It's a total example that there's stuff to do all over. Watertown, New York on the 15th. Corpus Christi, Texas on the 16th, right? online beard competition. You can't. That's from home. You could do that from home. It's online. On the 23rd of March in Greensboro, North Carolina, Carolina BAM. Same weekend, Chattanooga, Tennessee, one of our chapters, Chattanooga Villains Beard Competition on the 23rd of March. That same weekend in Wichita, Kansas, the Midwest Beard Fest. So that covers you all the way to April. And they've got stuff in here all the way through the year already set. So go out there and visit thebeardcalendar.com. If you're curious about what's going on out there in the bearding community, that you can go and support something for charity. It's so simple. It's so simple. I guarantee I could almost, unless you live in Alaska or Maine, I think, I could almost guarantee that there's something out there for you to go to within a little bit of a drive. So go out there and support other beard clubs, support charity, go out there and do some really good stuff in the world. Guys, hey, that's going to wrap up episode 204. 204. Man, I hope that you guys have a great night, a great weekend upcoming, man. As I tell you all the time, be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Most important words I always say every week, guys, is it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. But saying that doesn't finish it, right? You still have to do the work. You still have to find a brother. You still have to find somebody to talk to. Don't settle. Find somebody to talk to. That's going to wrap up episode 204. I'll see you next week for 205. Hey, until then, have a great weekend. Take care. Stay safe.
From the start to the finish, go